Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Strange Origins podcast. This is episode 54.
Hey!
We're back. We're back.
Hey, wait, 1 week.
Single and ready to mingle. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, wait, shit, you're single. God damn, Jack.
For 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes only. You can get in chat with Jack at a cost of $99.99.
But this is pre-recorded anyway, so it wouldn't count.
Lol.
How have you been? How was your 7?
I'm good. I have like a slightly annoying news, but good news at the same time, I guess.
Oh, yeah, go on.
So I got a job.
You're one of us. One of us.
Nah, like, you know what, right? Like, I don't mind it, but it's just like, it's basically like 15 hours a week for a fucking warehouse job. So, which means they've because these fuckers are like running out of like people to fucking hire, so they've literally just split it into like 5 days.
Dude, it's actually crazy though, like the amount of like there's no workers, and it's not like
There is literally
it's,
no
it's
workers.
not like oh no one wants to work. It's there's no one left. Like people don't want to work for minimum wage anymore.
Well, that and plus like no joke. Who the fuck was like? I know there's people out there that's probably gonna hate me for this, but who the fuck wants to go back to a fucking Amazon warehouse job?
No, it's absolutely true. That like
you know,
like oh people are like oh robots are gonna take our jobs and shit. It's like yeah they're gonna take the shitty jobs that we don't want.
yeah,
That's the point.
And then we're gonna be stuck here with fucking no job or homeless.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
I mean maybe we'll get universal credit. You know they kind of tested that out. So while robots do all the work, we get paid. It'd be perfect.
Yeah. And then
What
where's
society?
the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Taxpayers' money.
Yeah, we're basically paying ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, no. I got a job, so that means
When's that start?
I don't know. I gotta go in tomorrow and give him my P45, and then we'll discuss when I can start.
Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, you have a bit of cash, bit of money.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I just kind of just want to move out, honestly.
Yeah, you can sub to my channel.
Listen, I don't have that old money. All right? What you need is a tier 3 sub, Jack. Right?
No, I mean it like, I mean having a job is like I've literally had one since I was fucking 18, so that's all I've ever known at the moment.
I think for me it was like when after I left uni, that's when I got my first job.
Yeah, uni. You fucking uni students like getting that fucking free money.
Free money, and then we're in there for the rest of my life, baby. Yeah. Let's go.
Good trade-off. Like legit, like I was so shocked when I was a kid at that time, like just knowing or hearing, that uni students never spent the money on what they were actually meant to. Like,
oh hell yeah!
9 times out of 10, it was like, right, so I'm gonna buy all these books from Amazon or secondhand eBay, and then use the rest of the money to buy a laptop or like League of Legends skins or something like that.
Or like alcohol.
Yeah,
or fucking go out, fucking and party.
Especially first year.
Oh hell yeah, dude! When I got my fucking money, like I am very blessed to be living at home at that time. I wanted to move out.
I'm so confused at who thought it was a good idea, right, to give a bunch of like 18-year-olds who have never had that much money in their life, like $5,000, like all at once, and then just go, here you go.
For me, it wasn't a $5,000. Mine was like almost like $2,000. Yeah, but I was like split into like three semesters.
Well, I think like back in the day, it never used to be split. They used to give it to you all in one go.
Yeah, so like if you die, if you get robbed with all this money, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right. But now it's like they put it in like in fucking three semesters. And
so you don't spunk it all in one go.
Yeah, because some people out here fucking they get the money and they just they go full like a week of they go for like a week binge of fucking alcohol. Like luckily I'm not one of those people. I just spent my shit in like legal stuff.
I mean, like, you like, I can understand it though. You know, you're giving a bunch of kids basically a load of money, and that's what's going to happen. But that's not really a bad thing in terms of like governmental like sort of standpoint, because they just get the money back.
Like, it's a long time investment while you working.
Yeah,
paying off. So,
dude, there's like I think I've spoke about it before on the podcast, but near where I live, it's like a student place full of like the people that are gonna be like doctors and nurses and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And I can't believe the amount of times they're just drinking, drunkenly walking back and shit. I'm like, you guys are meant to be doctors, like eventually, like, you know.
These are the future.
Yeah.
over this country.
The biggest degenerates I've ever seen in my life.
Like, I can understand. I can understand if they were studying for like art, poetry, or English, right?
Yeah.
But these are doctors, nurses, who will one day
operate on you, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or diagnose you. It's like, fucking hell, man. But actually, speaking of like the medical practice,
go on.
We've got COVID in the house. Woo!
Oh yeah, dude, it's fun.
COVID in the house. Let's go. So yeah,
I was about to ask you that. Like, I was how's your 7? But you just brought it in.
Yeah, there you go. COVID takes first priority. I have to let everyone know, Rod. Otherwise, if they touch me, then that's it. But it's so strange because so my girlfriend's got it. Yeah. She's got COVID. She tested positive, but then me and Yashak both tested negative. We haven't got shit.
Is Yashak double vaxxed though?
No. So.
He's Jamaican. It's fine. It's okay.
He's got hardened blood.
Yeah, he's got a fucking old money blood.
It's weird. So I mean, I obviously sleep in the same bed as her, so I don't have it. I don't even get. I mean, touch wood. I don't even have a sniffle. So.
I mean, yeah.
I'm doing okay.
Again, this is just going down to individuality shit now.
You wait until So here's the bombshell, right? In the new government guidelines, you're allowed to go back to work. It don't matter.
And you know what? And then you can just spread it.
Yeah.
Because you're a fucking idiot government.
I mean, I'm gonna take another test just to make sure I'm not negative or positive.
Yeah.
But basically, the rules are that if you're living in a house with somebody who's got COVID, right, and you're double vaxxed, and you test negative, you can go to work, and it doesn't matter. Every day, you can just go to work. So you can go to work, come back home, spend the same amount of time with the person that's ill, and then keep going, and just do that.
And the only time you can self-isolate is if you test positive. But by the time you test positive, you could have potentially spread.
Yeah, you also could have potentially developed it.
Yeah.
But here's the other curveball that if you're not double vaxxed, you have to isolate for 10 days. Which is weird because we've been told that vaccinations do not stop you from getting COVID. As case in point, my girlfriend has COVID and she's double vaxxed.
Yeah. So exactly.
But because if you're unvaxxed, you have to take 10 days off work, which doesn't make fucking sense. You're both me and him are both equally likely to get COVID.
Oh,
and spread it.
You know, I had the same issue. Sorry, I had the same issue on my interview. Right, I went to my interview. I was there first. Me and the security guy has got a mask on.
Yeah.
This other dipshit walks in without a mask. The security guy was like, "Oh, where's your mask?" He was like, he was like, "Oh, bro, I'm double vaxxed. I'm exempt. Can't. Did you notice?" I'm like,
what?
That doesn't mean anything, you fucking idiot!
Oh my god, there's so much misinformation. It's insane.
But the issue is people like this is they think they're fucking the bollocks. Yeah. Just having to. If that's how seasonal flu jab works, there wouldn't be any announce of fucking flu anywhere.
It's a kind of a case of mistaken wording, because when somebody reads vaccination, they assume that means that they're in the clear. But then if you were to say inoculation, which is actually what it is, it's more of an inoculation, which is temporary resistance to a certain strain of virus, rather than a vaccine, which is permanent resistance to a virus.
I think you might have to dumb down the word a bit more.
Yeah,
and just be you can get it.
You've got a temporary wooden shield. Whereas vaccine is a full suit of armor.
You have a half a fucking on.
You got one goggle.
You'll still get hit.
Yeah.
But you're fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just it's people like that, in my opinion. That's they think. I just get annoyed because they're out here going out and spraying this shit, and it's you are what's wrong with society,
dude. Somebody actually came up to me. Sorry to interrupt, but somebody just came up to me and was talking about so at our place you can also buy coffee and shit if you want, right? We can jump on that even though we're doing catering and food and stuff like that. But yeah, if you bring your own, what the offer used to be pre-COVID was if you bring your own cup, your own reusable cup, you get a 25% discount. It's a bit like Starbucks, Cafe Nero, all that shit, right? We had to jump on the trend.
See.
And if that's the case, obviously you're saving on waste and shit. But we stopped that because of COVID, right? It makes sense. And then the woman came up to me, who also happens to work at the place that we are, so she should know all this shit. Comes and goes, yeah, like, I'm so glad you guys are doing this because we're doing it again, this reusable cup thing. I'm like, cool, yeah, no, it's great, innit? You get cheap money, right? And she goes, oh, I don't even understand why you even stopped it in the first place. And I was like, well, you know, for our protection. And she was like, what do you mean? That doesn't make sense. And I was like, because we're touching the cup, you're giving it to us, which you've touched, and now we're giving it back to you. That's why. And she was like, oh, yeah, I guess so. And then just walked away. I was like, you're a fucking idiot. You know that?
Fire her. Report to your manager, fire her. And just...
It's not my department.
Just fucking ban her from going from like anywhere.
But there's no foresight. Like, they have no foresight at all.
It's like they're just blinded by it.
Yeah.
They're just honestly blinded by...
Like, I've had a few higher up people coming up and going like, "Oh, we want to get rid of this screen. Like, it's about time we get rid of the screen." I'm like, "That's the only thing stopping me from breathing their shit in."
Exactly. Like, and that doesn't even stop it from like getting into the tiny crevices.
Yeah. Like, and it's like, because it's just, you know, it's just so hard to hear, like what you're saying, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a shit.
So you're telling me, you know the reason why? It's because you're replaceable. That's why.
Yeah. It's literally because they have to speak a little bit louder. And it's just like...
Who cares?
I know. I'm not gonna lie,
fucking cares?
On a separate point, I didn't realize how much I relied on reading lips to hear people. I didn't realize this because ever since COVID, when they have a mask on, I can't fucking understand what they're saying. But like, you know how, because you used to be able to like figure out what somebody says through their mouth, right? Yeah, I just can't do that anymore. Like, obviously because of the mask, so it's kind of weird.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, because it's a bit more muffled and shit. For me, I think it's okay. I have a pretty, like it's weird, because I have a pretty good, like, hearing in real life and shit when I'm talking to people and shit.
Okay.
Like, when I'm serving and stuff, but, like, if I'm playing games, I'm like a fucking deaf person. So that doesn't
I think that's because you're mainly, like, focusing on something, right? So because you're focusing on something, like, you just don't even listen. Like, it's just, whew.
Plus, I'm just like loud. I'm just like used to fucking people shouting because I'm in people in my house. Is loud people anyway. So.
But yeah, that's the fucking story at the moment. We've got COVID in our house at the moment, so we're just
why is he
isolating.
Double vax?
Don't know. Story for another day, I guess.
Is he one of these fucking conspiracy theorists?
I don't think it is. I think the explanation he gave was like that was just never really. They never really did that in his family, so it was just something he didn't do. I don't know. I don't want to get into it because I have no idea. So.
Fight me, Shaq.
It's just like, I honestly don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously got his own reasons for it. So.
Well, I have two family members who is a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I don't think he's a conspiracy. He's not like that. I will say that. Okay. That's one thing I'm definitely sure of. But
that's good. Yeah, and like living in a house with like a conspiracy theorist is fucking hilarious,
dude.
Because we came up from double vax and we're like, oh man. You guys are fucked. Yeah. Like, well, either way, like I don't know what you're trying to hide. Yeah, exactly.
But it's weird because, like, you know how, you know, I'm assuming these same conspiracy theorists are against big pharmaceutical companies, right? Having a go at like. No. Well, that's what they're. Wait, what do you mean? What is it? Is it actual chips that they think it is?
No, it's more like, oh yeah, no, this is how the government tracks you down on like where you've been and like, you know, like,
oh Jesus Christ,
and like I'm
really
pretty
they're talking
sure,
about tracking.
Yeah, and like you know the weirdest shit is, right, when George Floyd what happened with George Floyd happened, right, there was this friend that they came, by the way, God rest his soul, the man, but like their friend came over and said he was recruited by the Freemason, and this is what they do, so basically you can get off the grid. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Dude, like, come
you're on crack. You're actually on crack.
It's a constant denial of like the facts, you know, because there has to be something. It can't just be what it is. There has to be some sort of reason as to why this happened, and that's what they're trying to do.
But it's like
they don't want to believe that it's just some shitty person did it.
But it's almost like, oh, if you believe this, you're a sheep.
Yeah. Like, no, I've heard that many times.
The man fucking died in front of you.
Oh, I heard another one. Do you want to hear another one?
Let me hear it.
This petrol crisis that we're having at the moment in England is all a conspiracy to make people buy electric cars and make people panic. So now they're going to all go out and buy like electric cars and stuff. And I was like, I was sitting there when I heard this conspiracy from someone who genuinely believes it. And I was like, okay, what's the downside? We all have electric cars. Oh no. We're saving the planet. What's the bad side? No. I don't see what the bad side is. I was like, aren't conspiracies meant to be like, oh, because they're bad things? This wasn't bad.
Yeah, and it's like, it's an actual good. It's like when COVID happened and people started riding bikes. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, and like, what was it? The stats that we saw that like global emissions dropped by like 40%.
Hell yeah!
And it's just like, that's not bad.
Then like things happening like in places like Italy where they used to be like dolphins in the fucking river.
Oh yeah, now they came back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then now that fucking people are out again. Now they're fucked off because there's people there again. So like I don't understand how like some of these things are like a bad thing. I get it.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of story like just really reiterates the fact of like how much like humans are just kind of like parasites, like just like bodying fucking animals out of their ecosystem and shit.
People are just people are just like as much as we have technological advances or like medical things where we're so fucking, like you said, we're a parasite. We leave shit. We decimate places.
It's like how much it's how much beef and stuff like that, like beef and cattle and cows, like how much like land they actually destroy. Like, I'm not going to go on this whole, like, veganism thing, but, like, that is literally...
Pig as well, right?
Yeah,
like farmers
but literally... So if you was to do, like a chart, right? It's, like, 40% is beef. Like, and pork is, like, 20. It's really big. Beef is... Because beef is not only just for, obviously, beef. It's for... When you have the cow, it's also for milk. Cheese, like, pasteurizing, that sort of stuff. So, it's because it's used for so much more, Which, is kind of nuts, so... actually, like... In terms of like sustainability and stuff, I read that. Do you know who has the most wind power? Like generates the most wind power in the world?
Wind power. Or
yeah, wind. Sorry, like like wind power.
I'd say like the Nordic area.
Right. Yeah. See, that's what I would have thought.
Yeah.
But no, it's China. China's the last country I thought it would have been.
I don't want to be rude, right? But don't majority of this stuff like run on fucking like
that's the thing,
burning fuels and shit.
Yeah,
and, like,
it does. But they need so much power that they're doing everything. So yeah, I saw it today on like statistics, like Reddit statistics, which is like data is beautiful if that's the subreddit that I look at. But basically, like they just display things in a nice little graph that everyone can read. China's one of the highest, and by a lot, by the way. It's not even like a little; it's a lot. They're like the highest wind energy producers.
It makes sense. They have the land for it.
Yeah. Now that you think about it, we're like, well, now that you know, right?
Yeah. Because I could literally say the same thing about Russia, but I guess they're not doing anything about it because Russia's like they have like a huge land.
Yeah.
And a lot of open spaces, which makes more sense.
I don't trust any data that comes from Russia anyway. And I don't. To be fair, I also don't trust any data that comes from China. But like, Russia was always like, "Yep, we're actually the best in this," and I'm like, "Are you though?" You know that like Thor meme where it's like, "Really though?" Like, it's the same with like, was it like North Korea?
Yeah, it's like North Korea. It's like, yeah, we have this, and I'm like, and then I look at your country, and I'm like,
I don't know about that.
It's kind of telling a different story here.
Oh man,
but yeah,
I've heard actually. I don't want to turn this into a news podcast, but I did hear like that was it? Is it Taiwan or Korea? Have basically asked Australia to help them prepare for war against China or Japan. It might be Japan that's doing this. Like legitimately, like, and not just like prepare like to move in, but like prepare for the possibility of war. And that really doesn't bode well for me because like I heard like a month ago that the UK and America and Australia have signed a pact where they're going to help strengthen each other's like defenses against, and the main people was against China. So I'm like, do they know something we don't? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think there is because like I'm pretty sure I told you this before, like where apparently China is like, you know, they've updated their fucking military system and shit. They have like nukes that ready, like a while ago, and then there was like I think in the news where like the general of like the UK or something was like, yeah, we need funding for this. If we go to war right now, we're fucked. We have nothing, right? So I guess I mean it wouldn't even surprise me like at this age, honestly. Like
honestly, like what a worse time to be born though. Like
yeah,
our age, we lived through the housing market crash, the fucking economy crash. We lived through like Afghanistan, Iraq war, Twin Towers, all that stuff. We lived through COVID, and then we lived through a war with China. Would be the worst.
It's like for some reason we as a species can't have like a single moment of peace and time.
I don't think there hasn't been one. I'm pretty sure the stat was like the world has always been at war for like, and it's only like a couple of years.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that like this is already gonna happen. There's already other happening shit and happening as well. Like you have like fucking Taliban's or the fucking terrorists happening in the Philippines or fucking happening in Lebanon, where there's like famine or drought or some shit, like lack of food and all this other shit. And it's just like there's like never been a time since our existence, us as a human species, that tells you how fucking like fuck we are.
I've got the stat here, right? So of the past 3,400 years that humans have been entirely at existence, they've been entirely at peace for only 268 years of them.
So that's like what?
8%.
5%, like 8%. Yeah, fucking hell.
8% of the time we've been at peace. The rest there's always been a war.
When was this? When everyone was still figuring out other countries, like, so when everyone was still trying to settle down, like
everyone had their own like country, and they were like, yeah, we're good here. And then they saw another one, they're like, what's that?
It's like that scene from SpongeBob, but
the caveman one. Well, it's like, do you know what? It probably wasn't even that, right? They saw another tribe. They're like, oh shit, there's other humans. Let's go and sit down with them. Wait, they've got that like really nice cup. They've got a bunch of really nice cups.
Exactly.
Like bam, 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 killed. Like,
well, it's like, are we like? This is what I keep thinking in my head, right? Are we really that far from our like ancestors of like monkeys? Because like they had war, like between their own people, like species. Where it was like taking over like territories and shit. Like we're supposed to be like the more smarter, superior.
And what's that? Was that they taught like some monkeys like the theory of currency or the value of currency, like they could actually use coins to buy food and stuff like that. Do you know what they started to do? What? The first thing the monkeys did was started to pay for sex. It was literally the first thing. They were like, oh shit, I can pay for this. And like it literally goes back to that saying of like prostitution is the oldest profession in the world, because it literally is. It's the first thing they thought of.
It goes back to like our great
it's in our DNA.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's like, let me smash.
Yeah, exactly. But like you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know if us evolving into this right now was a good thing or a bad thing, because there's never been a good thing ever since I existed. For like it's only been 5% or 8%.
8% of like peace. Like, I mean, I guess like that is also some of the reasons why we've been pushed so far ahead technologically, though. Like, you can also argue in favor of war, I guess, if you want to do that as devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had as many as technological advancements if we weren't at war. Like, I'm pretty sure like GPS and stuff like that came because of war.
Or like atomic fucking like.
Well, not just weapons, but actual like everyday things.
Yeah, like nuclear powered.
Like power plants and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and like vehicles and all that stuff was all comes from war. And like even if you go back far enough, like medieval times, right, where they learned how to use iron and steel and stuff like that, all because of war, and then we learned it into other practices. So I don't know, like maybe there is something about it, like, but at the same time, it is kind of tragic that we've just never been at peace, really.
Yeah,
it's sad. But like, what is it? The other thing is, there's only like 2 species in the entire world that kill each other, right? Or like have active wars. And it's like us humans, obviously, and ants. Ants are the only ones that like have wars like between each other.
Because they fucking they pillage other ant colonies. And
even shit, like red ants and black ants, like the normal ones, they just fight each other.
It's like a fucking gang war out here.
Yeah. Like... dog eat dog world.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's like That's a nice little news from us.
Yeah. That's our thought on the human race. It's tragic.
We'll be back next week for part 2.
But I know actually. Speaking of that, like, was it that Carnage film? Like new Venom film comes out soon.
Oh yeah, it's already
Venom.
out.
Oh, is it? I thought it was the 15th of October.
I think it's already out. Unless I'm just like reading US.
Maybe it might be US stuff. It might be reviews you're reading because people talking about.
That's already out.
Oh shit, dude!
It's already in cinemas right now.
Oh, there's the advertisement. Go see it. Like,
not sponsored by the way, chat.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I want to see it. Like, I do want to see it. I've heard some people say they hate it. Some people say they like it. Like, it's a bit in between, you know.
I mean, again, right? You can't. It's just like people that hate it. Is it because it's not like technically like a Marvelized film where it's like because their whole story of Venom and Carnage as shit as it is in the animated series is pretty brutal.
Yeah,
they go at it. Like,
all I heard from all I heard from reviewers is that they really went a lot more like they turned the dial to 11, and then they went like more wacky, more gruesome as well, like more like Tom Hardy is apparently able to do what he really just like let loose and just act the shit out of it. So maybe be sick.
Yeah, because again in comics they go at it like whenever you see Spider-Man and like Venom, they have their own little banter and shit, or Carnage or Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
As long as the Spider-Man's there, it almost becomes PG, like just 13, right? As soon as Spider-Man fucks off, these two will literally fight each other and claw each other to the death.
Yeah.
They're trying to take over each other's like fucking symbiotes.
Yeah. I mean, what I usually see as well in the comics and stuff is that like Spider-Man and Venom, they'll fight each other all the time. But as soon as Carnage shows up, they're like, nope, we need to team up. Because Carnage is 10 times worse than what would happen if Venom was in power. So
yeah, and it doesn't help the fact that he's got a fucking psychotic mind of like whatever the fuck his name is.
The serial killer.
Yeah, serial killer, exactly. So like, and it's just.
I don't know. It would
make sense.
Like, I mean, we got that. We got next month. We got Eternals, and then the month after that we got Spider-Man. So
thank God I have a job soon. So fucking go.
Honestly, like, I mean, you haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, right? But I would say like that was really good as well.
Shang-Chi.
And I'd honestly give What If another go if you haven't been watching it.
I have not watched it.
I would give it a go. Honestly, like, it gets better.
Week in a row.
It gets better. I will say that.
How long have I not watched it? I've watched it when.
Did you watch the zombie one?
I watched the zombie one. Then like what? The third one's coming out next week. Oh no, next week. This Wednesday, right?
Yeah. So
because I saw like a little spoiler basically where
is it the Thanos thing?
And Vision?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, honestly, it's good. Yeah, that one I would say is particularly really good. The one before it is just funny. Like, but I found it fucking hilarious. But it's basically the what if of that one is if Thor was an only child. Like, it's quite funny.
Okay.
So that was quite good.
And it's like all like boastful and fucking.
Yeah, like exactly. Like he's just like he's a jock basically.
No bitch.
But what I would say is like once you get past that one, it starts to like they start to connect. So they actually follow on from each other from that episode on. So they're not just separate things anymore. So I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah, because you know when they show trailers, right, and you like when the TV shows come out, the film come out, and you like watch for the specific shots.
Yeah. There's
this one shot where they did the same thing as when the first Avengers like did a pan around, and you see like the Hulk and like Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America like.
Oh, the Avengers.
Yeah, so I've still not seen that, so I'm like, so they're gonna do that.
That's definitely coming up, I think.
Oh yeah.
But you watched the Doctor Strange one, didn't you?
I love the Doctor Strange one. I really like it.
So
it's really fucking good.
It's honestly like definitely. I would say give it another go. They're only half an hour long, so it's not really like a waste of time. But definitely good. Okay. If anyone wants to watch it as well, it's the What If series on Disney Plus or however else you watch it.
We're not judging.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I was gonna say that's about it, but we're at half an hour, so we've gone for time. But we will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. Hit the like button, subscribe,
and let us know what you think of What If so far, or like the other film, like Shang-Chi or Venom, if you guys seen it.
Like, what you guys think, if you lost interest of What If you might pick it back up again.
Yeah.
Also follow on Spotify if you listen on there. Talk to one particular viewer. Like we've got one viewer.
We know you. It's fine. We know you.
But yeah, thanks guys, and peace. See you next time.
Peace.